Good evening, Scouters. I'm Davis Fox with the Hawk Mountain Council, and I am so pleased to visit with all of you about the BSA renewal system for youth membership, youth and adult membership, as well as our charter renewals. So let's dive right in on this and talk about some of the changes that we have coming up. We've got three major areas that we're going to be looking at. We're going to be talking about unit renewals, what the parents can view and how they'd make payments, as well as what the units can view and how they can make payments for these renewals. I'd like to point out that I'm using the word renewal rather than recharter because what we classically know as rechartering the unit, where we recertify that we're part of that church or Rotary Club or community partner, and also pay for all of our youth and adult membership, those functions have been separated from each other, and we're renewing the partnership with the community partner, and we are renewing the individual membership. We're going to get into that a little bit more in a moment, but part of this is because our scouts and scouters are registering for 12 months at a time as of this last fall, and it's not prorated. So we won't all have an expiration date of March 31st as we roll forward. Let's first talk about getting the charter renewed here. On the left-hand side of the screen is our 2023 format and what we did for renewal for recharter. Then we were going into advancements.scouting.org. We were going on the recharter, setting that up for the 12-month term. It was a lot of editing of the roster, who was staying, who was going, was anyone getting added, validating the information, collecting the mass payment for everyone, and then submitting it. This has been streamlined a great deal because we're just renewing the partnership with that agency. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into my.scouting.org and into the organization manager. And this is something that a member of our Key 3 can do, whether that's the unit leader, Cubmaster, Scoutmaster, the committee chair, or the charter rep, and also those designees. And they're going to click on the unit renewal button, validate that information, make any necessary changes, and pay and submit there. This is the screen that you're actually going to see for our hypothetical pack 1, 2, 3, 4. There's two areas on this screen through my.scouting in the organization manager that are different effective February 20th. It's these two areas, that unit renewal page and edit positions. Now, something I want to talk about briefly here is when you're going to edit positions, the intent of this is to either add, remove, or change the leadership role of our adult volunteers. You can expire or end the affiliation for any of the members with your scouting unit, but unless there's a strong reason to do so, we discourage that. There's not a good cause for you to, if there's not a good cause for you to expire their membership, don't worry about deleting people right now. You're not going to be billed for them because their membership is in this rolling 12-month capacity, and it just risks potentially damaging someone else's membership there. If I were to hit that unit renewal page button, I guess one back, you can also see on this slide, it has shown my organization name. I'm at Acme Unit Church, who is our institutional head and where we're located. That's the information we're validating. And then I'm going to hit that unit renewal page button. And it's going to bring me to this page that has a single cost of $100 for that charter renewal. There are two payment options here. The first is to pay online, and it has a 3% fee. So we're talking $103. The second option is to pay the charter fee at the council office. Now, as this is a new system and we haven't experienced it yet, if you choose option number 2, we ask that you please print off the page that says you have renewed your charter and owe $100. Print that invoice page and bring it with you when you come to the office so that we can tether those things together, just because it's something we haven't experienced it yet. For that $3 cost, a 3% charge on a $100 fee here, that might be something that you just choose to stomach and pay that $3 and have it completely done in the 5 to 10 minutes it took you to use that button. All right. That is our unit chartering process, or the renewal process. After that, it gets into what do we do about individual membership renewals? And
Thanks, Davis.
thank you.
I believe everybody can hear me. So across the red top, Davis indicated that all registrations are for 12 months. And now what that means is that hypothetically, somebody currently joins in the month of February, their membership will go until January 31st or February 1st, however you want to think about that. So you'll pay for a 12-month rolling cycle, and that's what's there in the red. Over on the family side, self-pay, as we're doing this, the national organization is emailing notifications to individual members, families, 60 days prior to the membership expiration as a reminder. In that, there's a link provided in the email that will direct individuals to a renewal form in my.scouting, and we'll see that a little bit later this evening. If you have registration in multiple positions, what you have to do is select what the system will classify you as your primary position. So again, if you're multiple in 2 units, maybe you're a merit badge counselor, maybe you're on the district committee, whatever that may be, you've got to distinguish what the primary registration is to where your payment will get attached with that. And then that will become your renewal through that process for all of the positions that you hold. Individuals will pay with credit card, submit the renewal, and then when an individual goes to renew their membership and pay for that, if your unit chooses to do it that way, then the unit needs to approve that membership renewal process to say, yes, that's correct. This family or this child, this youth member will be renewed. So for unit pay, you'll be an organization manager and you'll select the unit pay option. Davis had mentioned the units key 3 are notified or have the ability to make edits and adjustments, but they will also be, the key 3 will be notified each month about the number of members and the individual names of those members that are due to renew that month. So as a key 3 member, we've got some obligation, and I believe we all think it would be very beneficial for your key 3 to remind your members that renewal is up in the next 60 days, 30 days, etc. And you can go in and use your roster tab, and then that'll indicate which members are renewing. The unit can choose not to renew a member, but again, we hope you'll continue to do that, and not sure why that you wouldn't want to do that.
Brian, am I getting ahead of you?
Can choose not to renew a member. With that, you can also change whether the young person's going to receive their Scout Life subscription or not. The unit can pay with a credit card or establish a funds transferred payment with the council that will accept that renewal. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so the new auto renewal system for all youth and adult members, the terms are for 12 months, which I had mentioned. The month that you join, you'll go for basically 11 months and change. That'll take you to the beginning of that month that you join. So again, you join on February 15th. Your rolling membership will go until actually February 1st of the following year. Your renewal will have a 1-month lapse. So you'll have 30 days or 31 days to renew that membership. We'll give you a small extension period, but if the membership does not get renewed inside of that 1 month period, then your membership becomes expired and you have to join again, which means you have to go through the membership application process again. So we need to stress to our members that we want a renewal on time, and we've got 1 month, and we can't go back like in the old paper system where we could retroactivate a membership, right? You can remember a few years ago and many years ago where you could come in with a check, drop it off, and present that to our registrar, and we could backdate that membership. Can't do that anymore in this system. We've got 1 month extension, and that's it. Because we're doing things online and with notifications 30 and 60 days prior to renewals, every application needs to be accompanied with an email so that the national office has an email address to send those reminders to. So it's very important that you notify your district executive or the administrative staff, the office staff at the council office, when there's changes to email addresses with that. So, you know, work as best you can to help us to do that. Parents can opt out and units can opt out to the member renewal option with that. So at a unit level, the unit can agree to renew applications, but maybe there's a specific reason for a particular youth or adult member that the unit's not going to pay for, that you would want to opt out. And an example of that could be you have a scouter that's a unit scouter reserve. They really don't have a position of leadership in the unit, but they want to stay active with the Hawk Mountain Council and with the Boy Scouts of America, so they register as a scouter reserve. You and the unit decides we're not going to pay for that individual, they will pay for their own membership. So there's an opt-out section that we'll see a little bit later this evening as well. Davis, Cole, if you've got any input on this next bullet point, there's a one-time data sync that's going to be done in March to align all multiple and functional registrations. What the system's trying to do, what the national office is trying to do, is combine registration times, registrations that people hold. Again, sometimes you may hold 2, 3, 4, 5 different positions. And unfortunately, you may be in our system with multiple membership numbers as well. So we're trying to, we're working on that to clean that process up. Next slide. So when you look at going in and looking at the process, you can see basically pack 5 here, that it's got the expiration date on it, real simple. With that, next slide. Okay, here's how somebody may be listed with multiple positions. This individual would be in pack 1, would be in crew 3, and hold different ones. And if you look inside of the box where it says committee member, there's a green check mark there. That's the primary position. So like back in the paper renewal days, if you were a multiple in different units, you would have to determine which unit was paying for the membership. So you'll need to coordinate that this year, just like we've done in the past, that this individual is being paid as the committee member of pack 3, not the crew associate advisor in crew 3. Okay. Next. So again, just a screen you'll see towards the end of the individual process, as individual members again are renewing their membership. So go ahead, Davis. So at the end of this, you would check that red box down at the bottom that said go to next screen. your prices would come up. If you're not aware, the BSA is raising our membership rates up on April 1st, which makes it even more imperative to get your membership and your units membership renewal completed before April 1st. And
Brian, let
sorry,
me jump
Dave.
in here because this is
Go
an
ahead.
important one I want you guys to hear. We have the opportunity to be the last council at the old, lower registration rate, not the first council at the new, higher registration rate. So whether you are paying as a unit for your members or if they are paying as families, encourage that to be completed before April 1st, not an April Fool's joke. This is something that is at the BSA national system. We can't override it. Make sure the payment's done in advance to be the last people at the low rate, not the first at the high rate.
So our adult rate will go up by $5 on April 1st. Our youth rate will go up by $5 on April 1st. And the silver lining to all of this is that the new member joining fee of $25 for those brand new youth members and adult members is going away. So that will be eliminated for any youth that are coming into the system for the first time. We've got a lot of feedback, a lot of pushback. So in response to that, National has decided remove the $25 joining fee or first time membership fee, whatever you want to call that. But the annual rates are going up by $5. So like Davis said, take advantage of the current rates today.
All right.
Take care of your membership renewal in February and March. We're asking that units have this completed by March 22nd. And the reason why we're asking to do that is that if there are still problems or glitches, we want to have time to be able to help you correct that before close of business at the end of March, so that we don't get into needing to collect additional fees and money in April. That we want to take care of those problems here in February and March before there's a difference in payment.
Oh, you're fine. I'm not on that.
Next slide.
So auto renewal membership unit pay. So we talked about how families can pay for themselves. Now this is going to talk about how units can pay for folks as well. So on the settings pin, you can check the renewal payment option there. And so that means you will pay for all of them. Check that. There you go. Or next slide. If you don't check that, you can then opt folks out. So if you know that, person 1, 2, and 3 don't want the unit to pay for them, they want to pay for themselves, you can opt them out of the automatic renewal.
Cole, can you speak up?
Try. Yeah, let me try to up the mic a little bit.
Better.
Okay. There you go. I don't want to go too loud for you. Okay. Is that better for folks? Okay. All right. Next slide there, Ms. Davis. Okay, and then that slide there says, "Are you sure you want to opt these folks out?" So
They did.
there you go. All right, next slide. Easy enough. Okay, and then you can see that it then says opted out. So that's just a visual of what it's going to look like. So next slide. Okay, so here's where you get to where you can actually renew folks. So when you get to that screen on roster, during renewal time, you'll see your whole list of folks, and you can check them on the left-hand side. That's what the highlighted things indicate. Once you check them, page through all the pages you need to, the renew option appears at the top, and you can click renew. It won't have the red box around it. That's just visual for tonight. But once you click that, next slide will be what you see. You'll see that, and you see who they were. So John, Stephen, Jorge, all the way down, and you can see where they are. You can also check Scout Life if they wanted to receive it or not. And that's it for that. And then you just click create renewal order once you're done there. And then next slide. And there you go. That is it. So to address Mark's question about ACH, we will check into that for you. All the visuals we have and our understanding is it's just a credit card. I know that's not necessarily helpful for those that use ACH, but I don't know if Davis or Brian have heard anything different on that.
It has been verbalized to me that ACH will be there for membership renewal, but not there for unit renewal. With that said, that's not the option they showed in the slide deck. So time will tell. Sorry, that's sort of an unanswer. I'm sorry. Mark, you're asking. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda. I'm going out of order, but Mark, to continue what we were saying on this one, you're saying, hey, if there's no ACH, will we be able to bring a check into the office for member renewals? The answer is yes. And please, let me add a please onto this one. If you're doing that, please don't bring 30 individual checks for 30 individual families. Please bring a check in. And if you use the pay at the office option on here, bring a printout of whatever that last page is. On our reporting side, we've got some reports that can say renewals in progress, things like that. But I don't know what it looks like yet because no one's in progress. And so we don't know how quickly and easily we'll be able to ascribe the payments to the individuals. Linda, I'm not clear on the opt-out. Is that for payment options of renewal or is that for payment options or renewal of membership? Yes, we can opt out from paying, and that when the 12 months expires, then their membership will lapse also. If there is a reason to remove someone from your unit sooner than that, give us a call. I believe we can do it on that organization manager slide that I was looking at the very, very beginning. And so we can expire them out there. But give us a call so that we can help out. Where this might apply, where I can see this happening is Cub Scouts who didn't cross over. So they're now listed as 6th graders who are in Cub Scouts. You want those guys off your books? I'm sure we can find a way. We haven't done it yet. How long do you have to pay by check at the office? Here's our request for this one. I mean, officially, we'll cash the check whenever you hand it to us. We said the rates are changing effective April 1. Because this is a new system for us also, if you're paying at the office, our request to you is that that check be brought in 2 weeks before the April 1st switch on here. So that means we're asking that the checks be in the office. It's not even 2 full weeks. Friday, March 22nd. That way we can make sure that it's deposited, assigned appropriately. It gives us just over 1 business week to make sure that credit's given. When I was in a previous council, our back then Recharter date was a July 31st Recharter date. And if you can remember, for the last few years, the rates changes occurred on August 1. Every year we had 1 or 2 people that were trying to slide in on July 32nd to make their payment. And it's not something we can control. It's out in Irving. So if we're after the 31st of March, it's beyond our control. If you're paying by check, please get it to us by March 22nd so that we can help and support you. Can you clarify the questions regarding the 6th grade Cub Scouts? Oh, didn't mean to stir stuff up with that. I just meant if you've got someone who is in 5th grade this year and they don't cross over next month, but their membership is still good. Well, come June, July, and August in the system, it's going to look like they're 6th graders, but they're still listed in Cub Scouts because they didn't get transferred to a troop.
How are we getting charters signed with the charter partners, and should we do that before paying for unit renewal? We're getting them signed, so the field staff are going around and we'll work with the key threes to get those signed, visiting charter partners and working with them to get those done. And it will be done in conjunction with it. It does not have to be done before you pay for the renewal. The field staff will work on that with that. So.
And to that end, making sure that those meetings happen with the charter partner, that really is the responsibility and the job of our field staff, our employees. We really appreciate it and it helps us out a whole lot to grease the skids when you guys can help set those meetings. But I'm not going to be banging on your door if this doesn't happen. That's the responsibility of our field staff here. And that it's part of our responsibility is to make sure that we're appropriately serving those community partners. If that meeting hasn't happened, don't allow that to delay you from submitting the renewals, whether it's for members or for the unit. Get that stuff paid and processed, because if it isn't done, it can sort of cause everything else in the system to bind up. To that end, if you are paying as a unit for your membership and little Tommy Tenderfoot's family has not paid their dues yet, submit everything without Tommy Tenderfoot. Tommy can rejoin in the future, and it would be so much better for Tommy to rejoin. Sorry, Tommy, if anyone on here has the name of Tommy. It would be so much better for this youth to rejoin at $5 higher rather than the entire unit needing to pay $5 more because per person because we waited. The same is true as we look at adults with youth protection training and things like that. If you've got a member of committee whose youth protection has expired, drop them off the list. Don't pay for them and let them rejoin later, but don't have the entire unit get bound up because of one or two people. Can we transfer crossover scouts online and then pay for them in the troop? That's a great question. People can transfer online while their registration is valid, and people can pay up to long range up to 60 days before that renewal date hits. So the question is yes, or the answer to your question is yes. If the youth crosses over while they still have valid membership, they can get renewed at the troop level. If their membership has expired, they can't transfer because they're not a scout right now. They'll have to rejoin, and at that point, just rejoin at the troop. How do we do crossovers? Crossovers are treated in the system like transfers, and I'm not super versed in that. Does anybody know that one off the top of their head? Cole does.
I would say if a unit leader wants to take it as well, they can, because they do it. I know how to do it, but if someone else wants to take it, that would be good. So
Mark's recommendation is transfer them independent of the renewal process. When will people start getting renewal emails? Oh my goodness, I blew up the national membership office on this one because the statement is everyone gets their renewal emails 60 days out. And for us, we're currently 45 days out and the system's not even turned on. Soon. We can't get the email to them until after the 20th. I am continuing to visit with the national membership team on this. BSA sends out their second reminder at the 30-day marker.
Bill's question there, sorry if covered, if we elect unit pay, is that then locked in for the next 12 months?
Once you pay for someone, that person's paid for the next 12 months. But
Oh, correct.
you can change how you're paying at any time in the year.
Correct. Yeah,
I guess different ways to interpret that one. Bill, did that help?
Tim, for your answer, the system should work in this way. If you elect to do unit pay, like you take that option away from the families, it should, I'll say should, not send them emails to renew. So, Jennifer, your question about could do unit pay and then subsequent can be family pay. Yes, that is correct. 12-month cycle for Michelle began back in August. For the transfers, we will send out a job aid about how to do that. With pictures and whatnot. There was a good one that went around a while ago. I'm trying to find that. So that way you don't have to refer to this part of the thing. You can just look at that job aid. So did make a note to find that for you. So
educational process, the staff will be looking for some volunteer support, but the week of March 4th and the week of March 12th, we intend to promote and advertise some live trainings, tutorials, if you will, to where we'll have some of you all potentially there to say, this is how it worked for us. Davis, Cole, and I, and the other DEs will discuss what we've, been learning and hearing from the national organization. So we want to provide some live opportunities. We don't have the days and the times secured yet, but we think it's going to be about 6 p.m. till about 8 p.m. And in those 2 weeks, we'll cover a Tuesday night, a Wednesday night, a Thursday night, Monday night, vary that around to where folks can go in. And if we have enough volunteers to join our staff, we can set up some individual chat rooms to where folks can get some one-on-one instruction and answer some questions that way. So be on the lookout for that. The DEs will keep you posted. If we have time to get it out in Scoutwire, we will. If we can get it on the website, we'll do that as well. But we want to make sure you've got opportunities to ask questions. And as we learn new details, we want to make sure that we've got a way to get that out to you.
Jennifer, I don't think we answered this one. Jennifer said, is it true that scouts that signed up before 8/1 are due on this March 31 date, and anyone who joined after 8/1 will be due for their renewals in their calendar months? Yes. And when you log into the system, it's got that list of people. One of the screenshots that we had with Cole had a list of folks. It says right on there when that person's expiration date is, so that you can sort of quickly or rapidly assess it. The other difference is that's when August 1 of last year is when people stopped paying the prorated fees. So when people stopped paying the prorated fees is when they started getting set up to renew on that calendar month.